So, I have already filmed today. I read a bunch of wedding drama Reddits and I realised my microphone wasn't plugged in correctly. Now we're going to read some completely different Bridezillas because I like to have the raw reactions. Ooh, we got a nice juicy long Bridezilla story. So, Bridezilla who used me. Here's my story of a Bridezilla that I had to deal with. Details have been changed, of course, for anonymity, but we will call this family member Mary and her partner John. Mary and John as a couple were the sweetest ever. I loved them together and was so happy when they got engaged, and even happier when I was asked to be a bridesmaid. I am not in touch with many relatives on that side of the family, so cherish the one I had with Mary. Mary had originally planned a holiday overseas to Hong Kong for her birthday, but last minute changed it to a bachelorette party. I was the third bridesmaid and only one not to go on the trip. However, she was insistent that I go on a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Mind you, I had been to Hong Kong twice before, so didn't feel the need to go. Also, I was saving money for other things, so couldn't exactly afford a last-minute holiday. What kind of annoys me about brides is that they think that you should just splurge thousands and thousands of pounds on their life events when you have your own life events that you're saving towards. She told me she was happy to cover my cost up front, flight and hotel, if it meant I could be there and I could pay her back later. I agreed to this and we went. I paid her back before the trip happened. We shared rooms as she wanted my help with styling her clothes, hair, and asked me to bring some of my clothes. So she had options for the nights out she wanted. Okay. Seems a little controlling, but sure. The holiday was, well, interesting, to say the least. I had a lot of fun and went on one date while I was there. I put this past Mary to make sure she was comfortable with me being away for a few hours and that it didn't clash with her plans. She happily agreed and encouraged me to go. Anyway, coming back, it turns out everyone in the trip had an issue with me. This was unknown to me until a month later. Mary and I, after the trip, had gone from talking every day to silence from her side for days. It was only when she was let go from her job did she reach out to me for comfort and then tell me about the annoyance everyone felt about me during the trip.
I don't like where this is going.
I had supposedly slighted her friend Lena, who had found out her sister-in-law was pregnant. I congratulated her for the news and asked how old her sister-in-law was. Mind you, everyone on the trip was roughly 5 years younger than me. When Lena told me the age, I remarked, "She's young." She was in my eyes as the sister-in-law was 8 years younger. Lena took it as me judging her sister-in-law, and she was traumatized because of stories of her mum being harassed for having children young. The pregnancy thing, I understand why some people find it offensive, but I will say if you are triggered by saying oh, she's young, because it's a genuine fact, you need to manage your triggers. If you have childhood trauma and stuff like that, it is not for the world to manage that for you. Another issue was me rushing them to leave the restaurant after I paid the bill when they wanted to hang out more. All I did was pay the bill and get up as I thought we were leaving, and they followed suit. No one told me they wanted to stay, and if they had, I would have. The last issue was that Mary felt I wasn't there to celebrate her, and also me suggesting for my date to take us out to places was a slight to her partner, and I did not consider how would it make him feel for her to be entertaining the attention of another man. She's not asking you to sleep with him. I only made this offer once I felt my date was a decent person. He was a local, and I thought it would be nice for a local to take us out. When Mary declined the offer, I never mentioned it again. Locals tend to know the best places. Just saying. Also, on top of this, Lena had several meltdowns about her boyfriend that it derailed Mary's plans, clubbing and several dinners. And it resulted in the other bridesmaids sitting in Mary and my room alone in the dark, as Mary hadn't given her the key to set her up. I had ducked out for a second to get stuff and found her like this. Mary was consoling Lena in their room and kicked out the bridesmaid for privacy. It also led to Mary cancelling a facial day for us. It was initially her thank you to us being bridesmaids. It was cancelled because Lena was so upset with her boyfriend that Mary thought it was best that only the two of them spend time together, and me and the other bridesmaid were left to keep ourselves busy. They both went and still got the facials done. So it didn't stop anything. After all of this, Mary and I mended things and it was fine. Then I was added to the Facebook event for the wedding. I noted it was created the day we returned from the holiday and I was only being added now. Another warning. A few weeks later, she asked if I still wanted to be a bridesmaid. Obvious warning sign in hindsight. And I said yes, as long as she was fine with it. She said she was. Further context, her wedding comprised a celebration in our country, then a wedding overseas in Italy. The reception was at a 5-star hotel and we were expected to stay at said hotel. Anyway, Lena, her maid of honour, checked out of helping Mary with anything wedding related, citing she was going through a lot of personal things. I'm sorry, but you're the problem. Okay.
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
Which Mary later told me was boyfriend problems. I knew it fucking would be. I knew it wasn't family drama, like someone was in the hospital or something. This was clearly a boyfriend thing. Otherwise, that would be obviously understandable. The same problems that caused her to have a meltdown during the overseas trip. Saw that coming. Mary calls me crying and asks me to be the substitute maid of honour without the title. She would need help going shopping, going to appointments. I said it was fine. Mary was already leaning on me heavily for styling advice at this point. Some months later, and I've gone dress shopping, fabric shopping too, as she then decided she went several custom dresses and everything in between. Plus, listening to her talk about only wedding related topics or how much Lena does not seem to care about her wedding. Mary was getting obsessive over every particular detail, wanting a dress to represent the love John and her shared, wanting to change my hair colour from blonde balayage to natural black.
How about no?
I fucking hate when brides have the audacity to say, I want you in my wedding, but not as you look now. That you don't want me in your wedding. Or at the very least brown. Everyone to grow their hair long and not cut it. What lipstick the bridesmaid was wearing, it had to be the same perfect shade amongst three of us, even though we all had different undertones. She was getting us custom traditional outfits for the local ceremony, and apparently the other bridesmaids weren't available for measurements at all. Wanting help with prepping wedding favours, which included making limoncello and sweets from scratch. This would happen over several hours and days as a way for the girl to bond. No mention of the groomsmen helping. No surprise there. Wanting specific treats and snacks available on the day that we needed to source for her. All these get-togethers, I was always there with at least one bridesmaid being away as they were too busy. This further bothered Mary that not everyone was available to assist her. Not everyone's going to drop everything for your fucking wedding. I'm sorry. She further complained to me that Lena didn't want to get measured yet as she was wanting to lose some weight. Months go by of this and Mary messages me one day saying she noticed I was stressed with the wedding planning. No shit, you're stressing me and I'm just reading it. And thought it would be better for me to step back as a guest. She had been thinking about it for a while and thought it would be best and was happy to talk more if needed. She wants to bring the other person back in.
Doesn't seem fair.
I was upset to say the least. At this point, most of her outfits were sorted out with my help, and so were the other big details for the wedding. During this entire time, Mary never asked if I was stressed. I wasn't. On top of that, she had thought about this for a while, but still leaned on me only for assistance. I replied telling her I respected her decision, but felt used through the whole process. Concur. Mary did not reply. She is someone who is chronically on her phone. She left me on red for 24 hours, but still watched my Insta stories. When she replied, it was just a thumbs up emoji. I waited a day or two to see if she would say anything else, and she didn't. So I did what was best for me. I deleted her from social media and uninvited myself to the Facebook event with the wedding details. Mary and I are no longer in touch, and I have no regrets with my decision. I wish I had done it sooner. Additional context, Mary was actively encouraging me to go on a date whilst overseas and was even swiping on people on the app with me. We didn't have every waking moment of the trip together and was told by Mary to go do our own thing during the day when nothing was planned. Also, all the girls had gone on dates overseas before and were encouraging when I floated the idea to them. They were excited for me and one of them met her partner overseas this way. I was gone for 3 hours of a 5-day trip. Suggestions of me hooking up with the guy is laughable. Also, when I stepped out of the room, it was to get medication for Mary as she needed it. She wanted me to get it because I would have been able to, since I speak the language. So I was surprised to find the last bridesmaid huddling in our room by herself when I returned. Yeah, I agree with the first comment. Funny how so many of these stories sound like silly girls in middle school. Yeah, it sounds like petty fucking bullshit where one person's acting like an adult and the other people just acting like mean girls. The first half I didn't ping as a bridesmaid, just not a cohesive group. Trips can do that to you. The second half I'm pretty flawed. Sounded like she wanted endless support and attention from her friends. That part can be really annoying considering you're all adults and have life outside her wedding planning. I think it's fun to share and chat about it, but I think some brides get a little self-centered during this time. Asking you to step down as a guest, I'm sure feels like a slap in the face. At this point, just kill them with kindness and say, sure, that's fine, and slowly detach. Yeah, I'm glad she just removed her from her social media. Mary and her friends sound like a bunch of see you next Tuesdays. Why did you even bother? Not gonna lie, wedding planning is actually wild stressful. People think it's all fun, but nah, it's like a full-time job. To be honest, sometimes I legit wonder why people don't just elope and skip the chaos, save their money and the drama. That's what I'm gonna end up doing if I ever get married. But I'm sorry, this is a really quick one. My battery's dying, and like I said, I've already had to film this video twice. So I thought I'd just read a nice long one today and get a short video out, and then then I'll work on another one later this week. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give a like and subscribe if you feel like it. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your patience. I know videos are sporadic. With the current climate at the moment, I just don't have the energy, but I appreciate you guys nonetheless. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.